This book has been personalised for Isabella. It's called Isabella, the Princess Who Always Did the Opposite. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful princess called Isabella, who lived with her mother and father in a huge palace. Although the princess tried to be good, she always ended up doing the opposite of what she was told. The king told her to keep her room tidy, so Isabella always made sure she kept her room messy. One day the queen asked the princess to make her a nice hot cup of tea, but instead Isabella made her a freezing cold cup of tea. The princess's pet dragon Dylan loved the light, but Isabella put him into a room where it was dark. Fortunately, it was very comfortable in there, and before long, Dylan was fast asleep. The king was very upset that Isabella always did the opposite of everything she was asked to do, but decided to trust her with a very important task. "I need you to deliver a message for me. Here are some directions on how to get there," said the king. Then the king gave Isabella a golden locket. "If you're in danger, hold the locket high above your head and help will come," he said. So the princess began her journey. But guess what? She did exactly the opposite. Isabella didn't go over the bridge. She went under it. Up the stairs rather than down them, through the magic forest instead of around it, and into the small tower and not the big tower. Finally, Isabella arrived at a tower. On the door was a sign that said, "Keep closed. Nasty wizard inside." So the princess pushed the door open. The nasty wizard escaped and laughed a horrible laugh. "Ha ha ha ha! Now for my pure and utter pleasure, I'm going to steal the royal treasure," he thundered. The wizard locked Isabella into the tower. It was full of big, creepy crawlies. "What will I do now?" thought Isabella in despair, and she cried herself to sleep. Meanwhile, the nasty wizard opened up an enormous red book and cast a very evil spell. He added lots of ingredients to a big black cauldron and sang, "Skin of a frog and a lizard's tail, a pig's ear and a big fat snail, fang of wolf, a vulture's feather, 5 fat worms, then stir it all together. Now, much to the king's displeasure, to the palace I'll go to steal his treasure. Finally, in go the pieces of bone. Now it's time to turn them all to stone." The nasty wizard waved his magic wand. Alakazam! Poor Princess Isabella was still trapped inside the tower. But suddenly the princess remembered what her father had said. "If you're in danger, hold the locket high above your head and help will come." So Isabella did the opposite and held the locket down very low beneath her head, but nothing happened. All of a sudden, a magpie swooped in through the tower window. It had seen the princess's shiny golden locket and wanted it for itself. The magpie tugged at the locket, lifting it high over the princess's head. Suddenly, there was a flash of bright light, then a puff of pink smoke, and there before her eyes appeared the princess's fairy godmother. "I've come to help you, Princess Isabella. I'm going to grant you one wish," said the fairy godmother. "What would you like to wish for?" "I wish to be a princess back at the palace," thought Isabella. But of course, she said the opposite. Swish, swish, swish. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and changed Isabella into a prince, not a princess. Even worse, the nasty wizard had turned the king, the queen, and all the other people in the palace to stone. The wizard saw the prince, but didn't recognise him. "I can't find the treasure. Which door is it behind?" the wizard asked Isabella. "Don't lie, because I can tell if you are, and I'll turn you to stone." There were 2 doors. One led to the king's treasure, but which one? "It's behind the left door, not the right door," replied Isabella. But when the wizard opened the left door, out came the princess's dragon. The dragon gave the wizard such a fright that he dropped his magic wand. It broke in 2. The wizard's magic was undone and everyone was turned back to normal. Isabella changed back into a princess. "No!" cried the nasty wizard as he disappeared into a puff of green smoke. Puff. "I'm so happy to see you, Mother and Father," said Isabella when she saw the king and queen. "Don't you mean sad?" asked the king, confused. Suddenly there was a whirring of wings and in through the window flew the princess's fairy godmother. "When you were a baby, the wizard cast a spell on you, which is why you always did the opposite of everything, Isabella," said the fairy godmother. "But now you've broken the spell, even though you did the opposite of everything, you saved the king's treasure and broke the wizard's wicked spell." The king and queen hugged Princess Isabella. "Now I can say what I really mean," said the princess. "I promise to keep my room tidy instead of messy. But now, Mother and Father, I will make you both a nice hot cup of tea and not a cold one this time." And off she went.